Hey, you should subscribe to this podcast. Um, if you click subscribe, that'll really help me out. It'll keep me doing ridiculously stupid ideas like this one, where I'm a mess for an entire show for no reason. I could have talked about this during the daytime and made sense, but now y'all just gotta listen to an hour of me mumbling and rambling and yawning. What a fun show I produce. Hot diggity dog. Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of Andre Knows Everything. I'm Andre, and this is the show where one episode at a time, I take you through one topic at a time. We Google it, we learn about it on the internet, and we have a good time doing it. Tonight, I am talking to you at exactly 12:05 a.m., okay? It is past midnight. It is past my bedtime. And because of that, we're going to be talking about sleep. Sleep. And I wanted to be extra sleepy for this episode. So this is kind of going to be a dual ASMR and sleepy Andre Knows Everything podcast, because it's late and I don't feel like being loud and I don't have the energy to be loud. I went to work today. I did an overtime day. Today was supposed to be my day off. Last night I only got around 4 hours of sleep, and it's now midnight and I haven't, I didn't take a nap between then and now. So I'm pretty tired. My bedtime is normally at 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and midnight is a bit past it. But that's okay. I only have to be up at 8 a.m. tomorrow to take my dog for a haircut. That's fun stuff, fun life stuff. But you guys, all right, yes, I'm talking about sleep. I wanted to get into it. I've had problems with sleep for a really long time. I would say probably at least from high school on until now. I've had issues with sleep. I'm an insomniac, so I get very little sleep, and I found ways to manage that over time. But for the most part, I still struggle a lot. I don't get anywhere near the amount of sleep that you're supposed to get as an adult. But we're gonna go over all of that today on the pod. So let's get right into it. Let's learn a little bit about sleep, and we'll learn about some dreams and some tactics on how to get to sleep if you can't, or how to stop sleeping if you sleep too much. My wife is asleep in the other room right now. Once again, which is why I'm being nice and quiet. Oh my God. I'll have to do the yawn counter as well. This is going to take some editing. Okay, here we go. Why do we need sleep? This is from the sleepfoundation.org. Okay. One of the vital roles of sleep is to help us solidify and consolidate memories. As we go about our day, our brains take in an incredible amount of information. Rather than being directly logged and recorded, however, these facts and experiences first need to be processed and stored, and many of these steps happen while we sleep. Overnight, bits and pieces of information are transferred from more tentative short-term memory to stronger long-term memory, a process called consolidation. Researchers have also shown that after people sleep, they tend to retain information and perform better on memory tasks. Our bodies all require long periods of sleep in order to restore and rejuvenate, to grow muscle, repair tissue, and synthesize hormones. That's cool. I didn't realize it was so memory-based, and that makes a lot of sense as to why I can no longer remember basically anything. It's getting bad, but I need more sleep to help process the memories up there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Man, this episode is going to be really slow. This should be a nighttime episode. Listen to this one at night, right before you go to bed. because I'm sure I'm gonna put some of you to sleep. I've got sleepy voice on right now. This is the voice that turns on after 10:30 p.m. anywhere that I am in the world. My voice just dips into a completely different octave, and I get real Barry Manilow about it. Okay. How much sleep do we actually need? Healthy sleep is critical for everyone, since we all need to retain information and learn skills to live in life. But this is likely a part of the reason children, who acquire language, social, and motor skills at a breathtaking pace throughout their development, need more sleep than adults. While adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, one-year-olds need roughly 11 to 14 hours, school-age children between 9 and 11, and teenagers between 8 and 10. During these typical critical periods of growth and learning, younger people need a heavy dose of slumber for optimal development and alertness. I think I pulled up a chart. Yes, I did. This is a chart from the CDC.gov. I didn't realize that this particular website did anything else than report COVID results, but they do. Look at that. They have some sleep stuff. So, for you parents out there, this is how many hours of sleep your babies need up through school age and adulthood. Newborn babies need 17 hours of sleep. My goodness, that's a lot. They ain't even doing nothing. I guess growing, becoming a person. Infants, 12 to 16 hours. That includes naps. That's nice that they include naps in there. Even preschool kids need 13 hours of sleep. And then teens need 8 to 10 hours of sleep, which seems interesting. It seems interesting that teens need less sleep than the babies do, because I feel like when I was a teenager, all I did was sleep. I slept nonstop. I took naps, and then I'd wake up, and I'd stay up till 2 a.m., and then I'd go to sleep, and then I'd go to school at 7, and then I'd come home, and I'd take a long nap, a 4-hour nap, right after I got home from school. And then I'd wake up, do homework, and then go back to sleep. Nuts. But now I don't take any naps at all. Now I just endure for hours. Although the amount of sleep you get each day is important, other aspects of your sleep also contribute to your health and well-being. Good sleep quality is also essential. Signs of poor sleep quality include not feeling rested even after getting enough sleep, repeatedly waking up during the night and experiencing symptoms of sleep disorders, such as snoring or gasping for air. Improving sleep quality may be helped by better sleep habits or being diagnosed and treated for any sleep disorder you may have. So I said that I was an insomniac. I was never diagnosed with that. I just know that because I have trouble falling asleep. I tried, melatonin. I tried, sleeping pills, ZQuil, all that stuff in college. And I found that nothing helped me better than, the CBD and THC, baby, put that stuff in my veins, and that's how I get down. Because before, I would just lie awake in bed for, hours, frustrated, unable to fall asleep. So now I take herbal supplements for myself. As an adult, you should be getting 7 or more hours per night. So I actually, because I've had this weird thing with my sleep, I've been tracking my sleep for years now. I use a variation of different devices between my phone, my Apple Watch, which isn't that great for it because the battery is bad, and then my Fitbit, which I just started wearing again to get more accurate sleep data. So I'm going to show you some of what I've recorded. Let's go to my sleep. Here we go. Okay, so this is from my Apple Health app. All right, it says that on a monthly basis, I get in average of 3 hours and 31 minutes of sleep per night. Now, that's an average. Most nights I'm getting more than that, but a lot of times I don't get quite that much. It says I'm in bed for 5 hours and 24 minutes, and this is from a mix of those different devices that I use to track my sleep between my watch and my Fitbit and stuff like that. It's not the greatest scores in the world, you know. Really not great. It says you're averaging less time asleep this year compared to last year. So this year I'm getting an average of 4 hours and 11 minutes of sleep per night, whereas last year I was getting at least 5.5 hours. You know, that's no bueno. Let's see here. On average, you slept more last week than you did the week before. About an hour and a half or hour and 50 minutes more than last week. So this is from Fitbit. On Fitbit, they give you a sleep score out of 100. And in the last week, you know, I have not broken 80. And then on Tuesday, I only got a 66. Now, let me see if I can show you what some of these scores look like. This is from this week. I was watching a movie today at 3:22 to 4:30, and so I thought that I was asleep there, but I was not. I was awake. I was watching Interstellar by Christopher Nolan, starring Matthew McConaughey. So yeah, as you can see, I get on average, almost 6 hours, 5.5, 5 hours, 5 hours, and then last weekend I was breaking it up, and I did take a nap, a 3-hour nap on the weekend. That's fun. I got a nap in. That's pretty cool. Holy moly, this is hard to do. Why did I think this would be a good idea? Just coming on the podcast all hella tired. I'm almost knocked out, but that's okay. We're gonna persevere. We're gonna get through this, and maybe by the end of the podcast you won't understand a word that I'm saying because it's mumbling out of my mouth and my eyelids are drooping. But that's okay. I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna finish it. So my sleep score on average this week was 73, and I had an average of 6 hours and 3 minutes of sleep per night, which once again is under that 7 hours recommended for adults in my age bracket. It also records the sleep stages, which we'll read about. So the sleep stages include like light sleep, deep sleep, and then REM sleep. REM is rapid eye movement. This is what I know off the top of my head. This is the time during the night where you're, I think, not dreaming. I think that's true, or you are dreaming. I don't know. We're gonna find out, y'all. We're gonna find out. Oh, so this is my data from the past year. No, from the past month. Good God Almighty. I think the light blue is light sleep, the middle blue is deep sleep, and the dark blue is REM sleep. So as you can see, I get very little sleep. Very little sleep. Holy moly. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. Okay, here's a fun topic to look at. What does sleep deprivation do to your body? Right now, I'll tell you that it's making my brain foggy, and I'm not even that sleep deprived. Some people go days without going to sleep, and that'll really jack you up. Because I feel pretty loopy. I feel silly. I just feel lethargic. I feel like I could just lay back and close my eyes, and then I'd be done. The podcast would be over, and I just have to edit out the parts where I'm asleep. So let's see what the effects of sleep deprivation have on your body, aside from just making your eyes droopy. The long-term effects of sleep deprivation are real. It drains your mental abilities and puts your physical health at real risk. Science has linked poor slumber with a number of health problems, from weight gain to a weakened immune system. You can have memory issues, right? So during your sleep, you're supposed to be collecting and retaining memories. But if you don't sleep enough, it says, during sleep, your brain forms connections that help you process and remember new information. A lack of sleep can negatively impact both short and long-term memory. Mood changes, Sleep deprivation can make you moody, emotional, and quick-tempered. Chronic sleep deprivation can affect your mood and lead to anxiety or depression, which may escalate. Oh, I have both of those things, and they have escalated recently. I thought it was just due to like a pandemic and like black people getting killed in the streets and stuff like that. But it turns out it could just be from not getting enough sleep. Or, all of those things. Weakened immunity. Too little sleep weakens your immune system's defenses against viruses like those that cause the common cold and flu. You're more likely to get sick when you're exposed to these germs. Cool beans. Cool. I need to go to bed. The farther I get into this podcast, the more I'm going to be desperate to get out of here and go to sleep. It's a risk for diabetes. A lack of sleep affects your body's release of insulin, a blood sugar lowering hormone. People who don't get enough sleep have higher blood sugar levels and an increased risk for type 2 diabetes. Now that's not good because the other day I had some waffles and I put a buttload of syrup on those things. The past few days I've been drinking tea and putting both honey and sugar in the tea. So if my risk for diabetes wasn't up before, it certainly is now. Low sex drive. People who don't get enough sleep often have a lower libido. In men, this decreased sex drive may be due to a drop in testosterone levels. That's very interesting because that one is not true for me. Okay, it's very high still. No matter what, I could be dead asleep and I'm down for whatever. Trouble with thinking and concentration. Your concentration, creativity, and problem-solving skills aren't up to par when you don't get enough rest. Right. Like if I were to take a test right now, it wouldn't go very well. I can't imagine because it's kind of hard to focus even just on talking and reading, let alone like critically thinking, which I guess I should also be doing right now. I'm not. I'll tell you what. Okay. Accidents. Being drowsy during the day can increase your risk for car accidents and injuries from other causes. Now, I've said before in previous episodes that I'm a comedian and I travel for shows when shows exist, not now. But when I do that, oftentimes I end up, driving pretty late at night, and I do get sleepy driving because I'll like go do a full day of work, get off, run home, shower, quick change, and then run out to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to go do a show. And then get there, do that show, hang out, mingle, and then get back on the road to drive back home for another 2 hours. I very rarely stay the night when I do comedy because I got a wife and a pup to come home to. They need me. Anyway, high blood pressure. If you sleep less than 5 hours a night, your risk for high blood pressure increases. That's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and just check my heart rate while we do this. Weight gain. With sleep deprivation, the chemicals that signal to your brain that you are full are off balance. As a result, you're more likely to overindulge even when you've had enough to eat. Oh, you get the eaty sleepies. My heart rate is 90 beats per minute. And you have a risk of heart disease. Sleep deprivation may lead to increased blood pressure and higher levels of chemical linked to inflammation, both of which play roles in heart disease. There's a lot of cool stuff, that happens when you don't get enough sleep. A lot of cool things. And it's kind of making me think that if I just can fix going to bed earlier, then maybe I can fix all of the rest of my problems. Poor balance. Well, not all of my problems. I got money problems too. I can't fix that. Poor balance. Lack of sleep can affect your balance and coordination, making you more prone to falls and other physical accidents. Yay. Okay. Causes of sleep deprivation can include excessive sleepiness. Oh, notable signs of sleep deprivation. Gotcha. irritability, daytime fatigue. Ay, ay, ay. Your central nervous system. Your central nervous system is the main information highway of your body. Sleep is necessary to keep it functioning properly, but chronic insomnia can disrupt how your body usually sends and processes information. During sleep, pathways form between nerve cells, which are neurons, in your brain that help you remember new information you've learned. Sleep deprivation leaves your brain exhausted, so it can't perform its duties as well. You may also find it more difficult to concentrate or learn new things. The signals your body sends may also be delayed, decreasing your coordination and increasing your risk for accidents. I very much wonder how much of this information I'm going to retain tomorrow when I wake up. Maybe I'll do a little follow-up video. We'll see. Well, you'll see if it's there at the end of the episode. If sleep deprivation continues long enough, you could start having hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that aren't really there. A lack of sleep can also trigger mania in people who have bipolar mood disorder. Other psychological risks include other than bipolar. Other psychological risks include impulsive behavior, anxiety, depression, paranoia, suicidal thoughts. Interesting that they brought up those particular risks. You may also end up experiencing microsleep during the day. During these episodes, you'll fall asleep for a few to several seconds without realizing it. Has that happened to me? I zone out a lot. To be fair, not like so much that it affects anything I'm doing, like driving or working or anything like that. But I feel like I zone out pretty frequently. It wouldn't totally surprise me if some of that was falling asleep. Actually, sometimes when I watch movies, I think I microsleep. You know? I'll be watching a movie at the end of the day, and I'll be like... I'll wake up and, it's the next scene, and I don't know if the last scene just ended or if it ended a few seconds ago or a few minutes ago, and I'm just waking up to a new scene. Who knows? Microsleep is out of your control and can be extremely dangerous if you're driving. It can also make you more prone to injury if you operate heavy machinery at work and have a microsleep episode. So avoid those, y'all. Oh, goodness. What's going on with this stupid website? Oh, this is healthline.com, by the way. I don't know if they're reputable at all. Is there anything else we want to know? Respiratory, digestive system, cardiovascular, endocrine. Treatment. The most basic form of sleep deprivation treatment is getting an adequate amount of sleep, typically 7 to 9 hours each night. This is often easier said than done, especially if you've been deprived of previous shut-eye for several weeks or longer. After this point, you may need help from your doctor or a sleep specialist who, if needed, can diagnose and treat a possible sleep disorder. Sleep disorders may make it difficult to get quality sleep at night. They may also increase your risk for the above effects of sleep deprivation on the body. The following are some of the most common types of sleep disorders. Obstructive sleep apnea. So I think... me and my wife both think that this is something that she has, because she sleeps a lot, like way more than me, like 3 times as much as I do. If I sleep for 4 hours, she could definitely sleep for 12. I'm always the last one to bed and the first one to rise out of us, and she's on the opposite end of that spectrum. So we kind of think that she has some apnea. She got some snoring and stuff going on. This is all public knowledge. She, yeah, her people know that she snores. Narcolepsy is another one. Narcolepsy is where you just like fall asleep all the time, right? Like you just hanging out and then you just like, and then you pop back up. I hope some of y'all thought that I actually fell asleep right there. Restless leg syndrome, insomnia, which is what I think I have, and circadian rhythm disorders. To diagnose these conditions, your doctor may order a sleep study. This is traditionally conducted at a formal sleep center, but now there are options to measure your sleep quality at home too. They send you with like a little care kit, and you get to hook it up yourself, and then go night-night in your own bed, and then wake up, press stop on the buttons or whatever, and then take that back to the doctor and have them analyze it. My wife was going to get a sleep study a few months ago, but then the whole world turned upside down. So we had to put that on pause, but hopefully it will return eventually. Okay, so here's some just like general sleep tips. We'll go over these and then we'll move on to like dreams or something like that. The best way to prevent sleep deprivation is to make sure you get adequate sleep. Okay, follow the recommended guidelines for your age group. Other ways you can get back on track with a healthy sleep schedule include limiting daytime naps or avoiding them altogether. Check, okay? Refraining from caffeine past noon or at least a few hours prior to bedtime. I also checked on that one. If you saw my coffee episode, you know how much I drink it, and it's not much, but definitely mostly only in the mornings. Going to the bed at the same time each night. Now, despite me sleeping so poorly, I am fairly consistent. I go to bed at like 11 o'clock, which is too late. I should be going to bed at like 9 o'clock, but I don't. Waking up at the same time each morning. I have a very strict work schedule, so I'm up at 4:30-ish every morning to leave at 5, to get there at 6, to work 10 hours, and then come back home. Okay. Sticking to your bedtime schedule during weekends and holidays. So I definitely don't do that. I definitely catch up on sleep on the weekends. Now tomorrow, I might be able to get 7 hours of sleep. If I end this podcast, it's 12:30 right now. If I end this podcast around 1 and then go to bed immediately, which I will because I'm fucking tired, and I don't have to wake up until 8, then in theory I can get 7 hours of sleep. However, I do have a small extra sleep problem called my dog waking me up at 6 a.m. every day to go pee. So he might put a hindrance on my 7-hour sleep plan, as he does almost every weekend. Spending an hour before bed doing relaxing activities such as reading, meditating, or taking a bath. Avoiding heavy meals within a few hours before bedtime. Refraining from using electronic devices right before bed. This one is really tough for me. I keep my iPad right by my bedside, and normally I'll wind down with a YouTube video or scrolling through memes and whatnot. A lot of fun right before bedtime stuff that I do. So I guess I need to cut that out and grab a real book, which I haven't done in a while. Exercising regularly, but not in the evening hours close to bedtime. I absolutely do this too, because I think that it'll make me more tired, and my body is tired from moving, so I figured I'll fall asleep. But that's not necessarily true. And reducing your alcohol intake. I don't consume that much alcohol. If you continue to have problems sleeping at night and are fighting daytime fatigue, talk to your doctor. They can test for underlying health conditions that might be getting in the way of your sleep schedule. Oh boy, okay. Okay, here's some amazing things your brain can do while you sleep. Actually, I think I want to jump into dreams first. Okay, because dreaming is weird, and I don't do it that often. I don't dream. I think my herbal supplements cause me to forget my dreams a lot quicker than a lot of people. My wife has dreams all the time. She's explaining them constantly to me, and they're all kinds of crazy and whacked out. And I assume that I'm having those same types of dreams as well. I just don't remember them that often, which might be because my brain isn't able to process all those memories. So they gotta dump the dreams on the way out in the morning. It's like, fuck, he's awake already, Jesus Christ. Okay, dreams can be entertaining, disturbing, or downright bizarre. This is from webmd.com. We all dream, even if we don't remember it the next day. But why do we dream, and what do they mean anyway? This is what I want to know. What do these dreams mean? Dreams are basically stories and images that our mind creates while we sleep. They can be vivid. They can make you feel happy, sad, or scared, and they may seem confusing or perfectly rational. Dreams can happen at any time during sleep, but you have your most vivid dreams during a phase called REM, rapid eye movement sleep, when your brain is most active. Some experts say we dream at least 4 to 6 times a night. So you have a bunch of dreams, and also they're oftentimes very short. Like your mind is able to process these images and feelings a lot faster in here than it is in real life. So, you'll be having like an hour-long dream that you think is an hour long, but it's only like 30 seconds or whatever. I just watched Inception the other night, and that movie is all about dreams and invading them and doing all kinds of crazy things with your mind. But the things that they projected in their mind from their dreams felt very true to me, from like the dreams that I've had before, where like I'm imagining things that aren't really real, but they all have some significance to my life. I really like that part of that movie. I like that whole movie. Lucid dreams. A lucid dream is one in which you know you're dreaming. Research shows that lucid dreaming comes with a boost of activity in parts of the brain that are usually restful during sleep. Lucid dreaming is a brain state between REM sleep and being awake. So you're half awake and you're half asleep, and that's why you can control what you do in your dream. Some lucid dreamers are able to influence their dream, changing the story, so to speak. This may be a good tactic to take sometimes, especially during a nightmare, but many dream experts say it's better to let your dreams flow naturally. Okay, so don't be going in there, flying around, shooting laser beams at your eyes, okay? Stick to the brain script. There's a scene in the Pixar movie Inside Out where they go to like dream productions or something like that, and every dream is created like a movie by your brain. So your brain has to cast it and put people in the roles, and your brain kind of fills in the information. And I thought that was a very cute way of visualizing what your brain is doing while you're dreaming. Nightmares. Scary dreams. It is common in both children and adults. Often it happens because of stress, conflict, and fear, trauma, emotional problems, medication or drug use, and illness. If you have a certain nightmare over and over again, your subconscious may be trying to tell you something. Listen to it. If you can't figure out why you're having bad dreams, talk to a mental health care provider. They may be able to help you figure out what's causing your nightmares and give you tips to put you at ease. Keep in mind that no matter how scary a nightmare is, it's not real and most likely won't happen to you in real life. So once again, I don't have dreams that much. I really don't have nightmares often. Sometimes I'll have like a daymare, I'll be daydreaming, and then my mind is just like, hey, let's make this bad. And, I kind of have to jump myself out of that a little bit. Maybe I'm micro-sleeping and micro-dreaming. And, those will be like anxious kind of visions, where I think like I'm about to die or I'm about to be attacked, or my wife is about to be attacked or something like that. My wife, on the other hand, does have real nightmares, and she often describes them to me as just times where I'm being shitty to her, She's like, you were so mean to me in my dream. Like we were going out, and then one of your exes came with us, and then you like totally ditched me for her, and it was like bullshit. And I'm like, I didn't do that, and I won't. And she still stays mad, but it's okay. Why do we dream? There are many theories about why we dream, but no one knows for sure. Some researchers say dreams have no purpose or meaning. Others say we need dreams for our mental, emotional, and physical health. Studies have looked into the importance of dreams to our health and well-being. In one study, researchers woke people just as they were going into REM sleep. They found that those who weren't allowed to dream had more tension, anxiety, depression, a hard time concentrating, a lack of coordination, weight gain, and a tendency to hallucinate. Those are all pretty scary things. Now, according to my sleep data, I do go into REM sleep like every night. It usually doesn't last that long, but I do it. So I assume that I am dreaming, and it's just the memory thing that is not taking hold, and I don't ever remember my dreams. But if it's possible that my sleep data is wrong and I'm not going into REM sleep, or I'm not dreaming during REM sleep, maybe that's a cause for me having some extra anxiety and depression and a lack of coordination and tension. Dude, I've been having actually a lot of tension in my like neck and back areas for the past several weeks, and I was kind of attributing it to my sleep, but I was just thinking I need to buy a new fucking pillow. I wasn't thinking that I need to allow myself to dream. Many experts say dreams exist to help solve problems in our lives, incorporate memories, and process emotions. If you go to bed with a troubling thought, you may wake with a solution or at least feel better about the situation. Some dreams may help our brains process our thoughts and events of the day. Others may just be the result of normal brain activity and mean very little, if anything. Researchers are still trying to figure out exactly why we dream. Oh, here's what I was talking about before. How long do dreams last? REM sleep lasts only a few minutes early in the night, but gets longer as we sleep. Later in the night, it might last more than 30 minutes, so you might spend half an hour in a single dream. Oh, okay. Okay. So my thought was a little off there. Thought that REM, was pretty short for the most part. A minute, 2 minutes, something like that, which is what they say in the beginning. But it can last up to 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes. And finally, what do your dreams mean? Famous psychologist Sigmund Freud believed that dreams are a window into our subconscious and that they reveal a person's unconscious desires, thoughts, and motivations. But Sigmund Freud was like a weird, creepy freak whose psychological theories don't necessarily hold up today. And I'm pretty sure he wanted to fuck his mom. So, what does he know? You know what I'm saying? Fucking Freud. Freud thought dreams were a way for people to satisfy urges and desires that weren't acceptable to society. Just as there are different opinions about why we dream, there are different views about what dreams mean. Some experts say dreams have no connection to our real emotions or thoughts. They're just strange stories that don't relate to normal life. Others say our dreams may reflect our own thoughts and feelings, our deepest desires, fears, and concerns, especially dreams that happen over and over. By interpreting our dreams, we may gain insight into our lives and ourselves. Many people say they've come up with their best ideas while dreaming. Have I ever dreamed up a joke or a story or anything like that? I don't think so. No. Because, I haven't been dreaming for like years. Like, I haven't remembered a dream in quite some time. Like, I'll have one every once in a while, but they never stick. The dreams that I remember are from, like, my early childhood. There's one dream that sticks out where I was, like, I was in a warehouse. It was me. I was there. Batman was there. And we were kicking ass, throughout the warehouse. I had a gun. But it wasn't like a bullet gun. It was like a Gatling gun or something like that. But I was taking out enemies with the Gatling gun. And then that's all I remember. I remember just kicking ass with Batman. So that's a fond memory for me. And I don't know what that means. Probably means that if Batman were to ever recruit me in real life, I'd kick ass with him. I think that's what it means. Often, people report having similar dreams. They're being chased, they fall off a cliff, or show up in public naked. These types of dreams are probably caused by hidden stress or anxiety. The dreams may be similar, but experts say the meaning behind the dream is unique to each person. Okay, so that's dreams. I'm slowly losing it here, ever so slowly. I did this late. I was like, okay, I gotta do it after midnight because it won't even be respectable if I do it before midnight, if I'm committing to this sleepiness thing. But I could have told y'all it was any fucking time. I didn't have to actually do it. I could have done this at 10, I watched 2 movies tonight before recording this. I don't remember what either. I don't remember what they were. No, I watched Message in a Bottle, a Nicholas Sparks movie, which my wife made me watch because it was one of her favorite books when she was growing up, and she got to listen to me ridicule it for 2 hours. And then we watched Kiki's Delivery Service, a Studio Ghibli film, because I've been watching through all of those for the past couple weeks. But both enjoyable films. I liked Kiki's Delivery Service more, because it has magic and a witch and less drama. But yeah, they were good movies. What the fuck was I talking about before I... Oh, holy moly. Okay. Sleep disorders. So let's just run through these real quick, and then maybe I'll focus in on what... I think I'm only at 2 on the yawn counter. Okay. Insomnia, in which you have difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep throughout the night. Sleep apnea, in which you experience abnormal patterns in breathing while you are asleep. There are several types of sleep apnea. You can have restless leg syndrome, a type of sleep movement disorder. Restless leg syndrome, also called Willis-Ekbom disease, causes an uncomfortable sensation and an urge to move the legs while you try to fall asleep. Oh. Somebody else in my household has restless leg syndrome. And then narcolepsy, which is a condition characterized by extreme sleepiness during the day and falling asleep suddenly during the day. Narcolepsy seems nuts. I would hate to have that. That sounds awful. Shout out to you if you got narcolepsy, Doug. You're a hero. There are many ways to help diagnose sleep disorders. Doctors can usually treat most sleep disorders effectively once they're correctly diagnosed. So I dealt with insomnia. I've kind of explained my experience with it to you. As I said, like before, it was really hard to get to sleep. Like I couldn't get there. I would lie in bed, close my eyes, and just be awake for hours without being able to fall asleep. Now I take my herbal supplements at night, and I'm able to fall asleep quickly. But the thing is that I don't feel tired. Like even right now I do feel tired. But on most nights when it's time for bed at 9 o'clock, I'm not tired enough to go to sleep without my supplement, and then I'll wake up 5 hours later without being able to sleep much longer than that, which is a problem apparently. So I guess I gotta fix this nonsense. But this says that there are several types of sleep apnea. So maybe let's look into that. Oh, I already brought it up. Hooray. Mother of pearl. Sleep apnea is a potentially serious sleep disorder in which breathing repeatedly stops and starts. If you snore loudly and feel tired even after a full night's sleep, you might have sleep apnea. So the main types of apnea are obstructive sleep apnea, which is the more common form that occurs when throat muscles relax. Okay, central sleep apnea, which occurs when your brain doesn't send proper signals to the muscles that control breathing. Oh, that's scary. How do you fix your brain signals from misfiring? You gotta zap it. And then complex sleep apnea syndrome, also known as treatment-emergent central sleep apnea, which occurs when someone has both obstructive sleep apnea and central sleep apnea. So your brain is misfiring, and you've got your throat muscles doing weird stuff in here so that you can't breathe properly. Yikes, complex. If you think you might have sleep apnea, see your doctor. Signs and symptoms of apnea. You got the loud snoring. Episodes in which you stop breathing during sleep. That's scary. Gasping for air during sleep. Awakening with a dry mouth because your mouth's been all open because you snore loudly. Like that. Morning headache. Difficulty staying asleep. Okay, that's me. Excessive daytime sleepiness, hypersomnia, and a difficulty paying attention while awake, like what I have right now. And then irritability. So it's caused, the obstructive sleep apnea is caused by, it says, this occurs when the muscles in the back of your throat relax. These muscles support the soft palate, the triangular piece of tissue hanging from the soft palate, the uvula, the tonsils, the sidewalls of the throat, and the tongue. So all this back here is what controls your throat muscles. When the muscles relax, your airway narrows or closes as you breathe in. That's what causes that. You can't get enough air, which can lower the oxygen level in your blood. Your brain senses your inability to breathe and briefly rouses you from sleep so that you could reopen your airway. This awakening is usually so brief that you don't remember it, so you still feel like you're sleeping. But in fact, you're just waking yourself up over and over and over again as you snore, because your body can't breathe. So the quality of sleep that you're getting isn't enough. It isn't good. So even though you're sleeping technically for 8 hours, you're awake a bunch of times during those 8 hours. And so when you wake up, you still feel super duper tired. Yeah, my wife's got this for sure. Oh, Michelle. Oh, I love her. Okay. You might snort, choke, or gasp. This pattern can repeat itself 5 to 30 times or more each hour all night, impairing your ability to reach the deep, restful phases of sleep. And then the central sleep apnea. This less common form of sleep apnea occurs when your brain fails to transmit signals to your breathing muscles. So this means that you make no effort to breathe for a short period. You might awaken with shortness of breath or have a difficult time getting to sleep or staying asleep. This seems like crazy. I'm kind of surprised that it says it's less common, but it almost doesn't make any sense. Like it's just breathing signals, but I feel like that would fuck you up a lot more throughout the rest of your day, and not just during sleep. But maybe it does, and it's just not telling me that here. I mean, because if it's just like, I guess when you're awake, you're more conscious, so therefore you can regulate that breathing using your conscious mind, but I guess it's the unconscious mind's ability to send those signals that's getting messed up, and so that's why it only happens when you're asleep. See, I figured that shit out with my own brain on sleepy time. Should this episode be over? You can gain weight. You can get a thicker neck. Oh, no. This is the factors that increase the risk of sleep apnea, not consequences of sleep apnea. I was like, what? It gives you thick neck? That's awful. It says people with thicker necks might have narrower airways. Being male, men are 2 to 3 times more likely to have sleep apnea than are women. However, women increase their risk if they're overweight, and their risk also appears to rise after menopause. Being older, that doesn't help. Having family members with sleep apnea might increase your risk. The use of alcohol, sedatives, or tranquilizers. These substances relax the muscles in your throat, which can worsen obstructive sleep apnea. Smokers are 3 times more likely to have obstructive sleep apnea than are people who've never smoked. Smoking can increase the amount of inflammation and fluid retention in the upper airway. Okay. Complications. Man, they can cause all kinds of stuff. Kind of the same stuff as insomnia. I guess it's just because of the lack of sleep is the things that you're going to end up feeling. High blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, daytime fatigue, metabolic syndrome. This disorder, which includes high blood pressure, abnormal cholesterol levels, high blood sugar, and an increased waist circumference, is linked to a higher risk of heart disease. Increased waist circumference? They mean getting fat. That's what they mean. Abnormal cholesterol levels, high blood sugar, and getting fat. And an increased waist circumference. That's the most polite way that I've ever seen that written before. Oh, good for you. MayoClinic.org, which I forgot to say. Again, I'm so sorry. All the links are below, by the way. Hey, you should subscribe to this podcast. If you click subscribe, that'll really help me out. It'll keep me doing ridiculously stupid ideas like this one, where I'm a mess for an entire show for no reason. I could have talked about this during the daytime and made sense, but now y'all just got to listen to an hour of me mumbling and rambling and yawning. What a fun show I produce. Hot diggity dog. All right, you guys, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I had something about sleepwalking, but I've never experienced that myself. Did I ever sleepwalk? One time I found myself in the bathroom. You know, I woke up and I was peeing, and then I fell asleep again, and then I didn't wake up again until my mom knocked on the door and was like, "What are you doing? It's 4 a.m. Why are you awake?" I was like, "I don't know. I was in the bathroom, I guess." Leave me alone. Go to bed. And then I went back to bed. But I don't know that I actually slept. I guess I did sleepwalk to the bathroom in the first place. I don't know. I'm not gonna read this. I'm fucking tired. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I love you lots. You know, if you want to check out more from me, head to the channel, click subscribe. Click the notification bell, click like, leave a comment. Let me know if you have any sleep disorders, if you have a cure for insomnia or sleep apnea that I can readily use for me or my wife. Let me know what other topics you want me to cover on the show. I've got a long list of things that I want to talk about, but if there's something in particular that you want to learn about, that you want me to Google, I absolutely will do that for you, for content, and because I love you. Keep up with me on social media. I'm at Andre Morton Jr. on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm posting clips of the show and some stand-up clips on TikTok until it gets banned in the United States by our dear president, Donald Trumperino. What else was I going to say? You can subscribe to this podcast on podcast platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, TuneIn, Stitcher, regular RSS feed. I'm everywhere. I'm on Anchor. You can actually leave messages on Anchor, I believe. You can send me a voice message, and I can play it on the show. So if you've got questions about any of the things that I've covered or that you want me to cover, hit me up. You know, check that stuff out. I left a couple of reaction videos up on the channel. Head on over to my channel, check those out, see if you like them. I did them all at once, obviously, and they're all pretty bad, but I will do more of those because I like reacting to things. It's fun. That's about it. Listen to my other podcast, The Walt Vault. We talk about Disney movies every week. This past week we talked about The Princess Diaries. And next week we'll be talking about Freaky Friday because we're in an early 2000s kind of mood. Check us out over there at the Walt Vault Pod. All right. I've been talking for far too long. And I've been awake for far too long. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go night-night. Go night-night, sleepy buys. And you can too if you haven't fallen asleep already, which I'm sure you have. Thank you so much for listening. I now know more today than I did yesterday. Bye.